See, our problem is we think of ourselves as good. You know why? Because we compare ourselves to people who are worse. We compare ourselves. So we say like, yeah, I know I'm not perfect, but you should see what he did. You should see what she said behind someone. So we know we're not perfect, but relatively speaking, because we like to compare. So like I sinned, but not as bad as they sinned. So I'm really okay. But God doesn't compare. You know that, right? God doesn't compare. God doesn't say, all of you line up and we'll just take the top 20%. God doesn't grade that way. God looks at each one of us as individual. And each one of us as an individual is actually compared not to one another, but who are we compared to? To Him. And you say, hey, Father Anthony, you're being a little bit tough right here. It's about to be summer and Memorial Day. Go easy on us. The weather's nice. It's sunny outside. It's very judgmental. It's not me. Like I wish if it was me, you could just ignore what I'm saying. But look what James chapter 2, verse 10, in case you're thinking it was Old Testament, New Testament. James 2:10, whoever shall keep the whole law yet stumble in one point, he is guilty of all. Of all? I made one mistake, I'm guilty of all? Yeah, it's kind of how it works. Think of it this way. Let's say you find a homeless person in the street, and they have all kinds of clothes that's dirty and tattered and yucky. Okay, and it's just all kinds of messed up. And then they are eating a hot dog and they spill a little ketchup on their shirt. A little ketchup spot right there. Not that big a deal. You probably wouldn't even notice it amidst all the other dirt. And then let's say you have a bride on her wedding day in a beautiful white dress. Perfect, spotless, and a little bit of ketchup. Would you notice that? Oh, it would be the talk of the town. Could you had a hot dog before the church? Like you can't even imagine it. Who would have a hot dog on the day of their wedding? Because when it's the same stain, but when you compare it to dirt, what I'm saying is our comparison is not this. Our comparison is this. And that's why the law of Christ says, sorry to say, but you're guilty. So let's make this even more practical. Since you already hate my guts, let me make you hate me even more. I won't make you do raise hands because I probably will get no hands raised on this one. But how about head nods? Okay, just head nods so that way no one looking around, just each nodding their own head. Nod your head if you've ever told a lie in life. You ever told a lie? Yeah, all told lies. Nod your head if you've ever used God's name in vain, said a curse word. Yeah. Nod your head if you've ever had a lustful thought or a lustful look or something like that. And for those who are not nodding your heads, please see question number 1 about the lying, okay? In case you didn't nod your head on that one. Bottom line, sorry to say, bottom line, forgive me. If you've ever lied, you're a liar. If you've used God's name in vain, you're a blasphemer. If you have thought lustfully or looked lustfully, you're an adulterer. You're a sinner. You're guilty. Welcome to STSA, the happiest place to be every Sunday morning. Who wants to invite a friend to church now? Look, we're not used to this. But did you know, actually, if you go to the roots of our church and our Christian faith, the idea of saying, I'm a sinner, like we never say I'm a sinner, but did you know in the rites of the church, we actually say I'm a sinner all the time. Did you know, for example, right now we just prayed the Divine Liturgy together, and right after the sermon, we said the creed, and then before we begin, I turned around and I said, I am a sinner, forgive me. And you're supposed to say, I'm a sinner, absolve me. You say absolve to a priest, okay, but you can't absolve, you forgive. So you say, I'm a sinner. And did you know that actually when clergy greet one another, we always start, like if I'm going to greet formally a bishop or a patriarch, I begin by saying, I've sinned, absolve me. That's how I begin, like even in an email, I've sinned, absolve me. Like that's how you begin. I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner. The problem is we say it in a routine way, but it's not meant to be a routine way. This is the same way that we say in church. Okay, you come to church and you say 1,000 times, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. Our problem is we take it in a routine way of like, yeah, Lord, bless my day. Yeah, Lord, take care of my health. And Lord, have mercy. And wait, no. That's not how it's supposed to be. The people who wrote the hymns and the rites of the church ingrained this concept in here, that I am a sinner, forgive me. I am a sinner, Lord, have mercy. Reminding ourselves constantly of our guilt. I'll tell you a funny story about that, by the way. One time, Pope Shenouda, okay, the previous patriarch, told us this story. One time, as a group of us sitting around, he told us a story about how there was a particular priest who greeted him, and he said, I've sinned, your holiness, absolve me. And then he began to say what business he was trying to, like, we need this, and he was kind of like complaining or giving him a little bit of a hard time. I've sinned, absolve me, but this, and this. And he kept saying, I've sinned, absolve me, but this, and this. So the Pope Pope Shenouda had a great sense of humor. He liked to razz people a little bit. So he said, okay, hold on. You said I have sinned. What sins have you done? And the priest, of course, was taken aback. So the priest said, standard answer, I've committed every sin, Your Holiness. Every sin. I'm the worst of all the sinners. I'm the worst. So the Pope said to him, okay, tell me one. Since you committed so many to choose from. The guy was taken aback. Because the point, what I'm trying to make here is, I'm a sinner is not something we're supposed to just say and move on. Something that we're supposed to, if I were to come to you and say, are you a sinner? We should all be aware of the fact that we are sinners. Now you say, why is that so important? Like, it's kind of discouraging to always think about sin and sin and sin. This is important. Don't miss this. I need to know I'm a sinner. Why? Because if I don't know I'm a sinner, I won't see my tremendous need for a Savior. The sick person needs to know they're sick. Why? So they appreciate the doctor. The drowning person needs to know they're drowning. Why? So when the lifeguard comes, they say, thank you, please, I'm over here. And they cling to the lifeguard. But the guy who doesn't think he's drowning, the person who doesn't think they're sick, the person who doesn't realize that they're guilty, when they see the Savior walk by,